Okay, my other project today was putting back 3 different bags of stuff. I got the Southern Biscuit self-rising flour, and I thought I would only need 1 half-gallon jar, but the self-rising flour took 2 half-gallon jars. So I'm going to wipe the rims, put a lid on, dust the jars, and label them. The grits, I got most of the grits in 1 jar, and I've already wiped the rim and put the lid on. I'd have to label it. There's a little bit in there yet. I may get a quart jar and add that to that. And the Pioneer whole grain muffin mix, I got most of that in 1 jar because I was able to put my hand in there and pack it down, which takes a lot of the air out of the jar. I was not able to do that with the other jars. So this one should be good. And I also wiped the rim and then put the lid on. These are going into short-term stores because I do not have any Mylar bags to store them in right now. Once I get a shipment of Mylar bags in, then I will transfer them into those. And what I also did to prepare for this is I put all 3 of these in the freezer for 3 or 4 days, possibly even 5 days, because I got them Wednesday. Put them in the freezer, and I only took them out of the freezer this morning. And the reason I did that is to kill any weevils, any bugs, any eggs that may be wanting to hatch. You freeze them and you'll kill the eggs or whatever bugs may be in there. Hopefully none, but in Florida there's usually something. So I froze them. Now they should be good for short-term shelf life. And if I transfer them to Mylar bags, I can freeze them again in the Mylar, but I don't think I need to at this point. I think 5 days in the freezer was more than enough. So that's the muffin mix, the grits, and the self-rising flour, all done today. And on top of that, I'm making jelly as well. So, and that's my one prep that I got to do today other than making jelly. And that's the update for today. Okay, I decided to add one more important thing as a prepper, especially since a lot of stuff will be back there for probably up to 1 year to 2 years, is I've taken them out of the original bags. So I know how to cook these, but heaven forbid, like my granddaughter would have to make something on her own. I have cut out the how to cook instructions, and it tells you everything you need and how to do it. And I'm going to put that in the small jar. Then as I empty the small jar, it's going to go into the next jar when that one gets opened, and then the next jar. Or the other idea to do as well is to put these in a type of inventory cookbook. I inventory all my preps, so there is a list of everything to include what's in my short-term half-gallon jars, because even though I say short-term, it could take me years to use some of this stuff, so I do make a note of it. And I've done the same thing for the whole grain muffin mix, and I want to show you the labels as well. I think it's important to label what's in it, what year and month you put it back, and then in here is how to mix it. I think that's really important, because what if you're not the one using your preps? What if somebody else is? Whether they inherit it, whatever the situation is. And I also have the self-rising flour. I'm not real concerned about putting that information in the jars, because flour is flour, and you're going to have some kind of recipe, whether it's muffins, biscuits, bread, and it's going to be different from what the package is normally. Now, I may cut out the recipes that are on the bag, because there are some, and I may just put them in a cookbook. That's another thought you can do. But if you see, everything here is labeled. And these labels are the ball canning labels, and I like those because they wash off and it doesn't leave no sticky residue. Now, I could use a marker, yes, and as you can see, these were lids that I had used when I canned some meat. But as you can see, now that isn't easy to get off. Whereas these labels will wash right off. Hot soapy dishwater, and they're gone. So, and that's going to be my final update on this prep on the muffin mix, the quick grits, and the self-rising flour. And that's how I'm putting that back today.